Hello. Look, what is a Mason? Hello. See, I'm still trying to work out where. A Mason is a man and a brother who is square to all that he compasses. He has a right, and the right refers to their right. Do you know what I mean? Like he has a right grip on Freemasonry. He has a right grip. That's a secret passcode anyway. He has a right understanding and a firm grip, which is the handshake. Therefore, he has no complaints to lodge against life by giving a loyal apprentice to duty. He becomes master of himself and others, yeah, and the others is you, the profane. He becomes a master of you, yeah. Do you know what I mean? The profane. And thus, whatever his degree, he fulfills an honourable career, because that's what it is, as a career, and he's paid for that career from his first initiation into the order, because it is an order, a cult, an army of humanity, until he receives the final password, yeah. And that's what that's about. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, be careful, it can get hairy doing these videos. Right, another bad joke. But first of all, before I go into the rituals, because this was supposed to be about rituals, yeah, but I got so thrown off with people just going, oh, look at that Masonic lodge, I just needed to explain. Oh, hope you got all that. And the old mic's away. I hope you got all that, because at the end of the day, I need you to understand it's not just your local Masonic lodges. They're in hotels, schools, you know, churches, everywhere, and I've shown you that anyway. I'm just going to go a bit into this again, look, and when I say they're paid well, yeah, look, Masonic gifts, right, for instance, right, these are jewels, these are Masonic jewels, look, you see, and they have to earn these, okay, and they're their badges, you know, like in the army, yeah, they're their army badges, yeah, that's the Masonic jewels, yeah. If I click on I don't know, let's go to all Masonic jewels, all orders, yeah. See, so these look, and that's what this is what they're pinning on each other. Do you know what I mean? For being a hero, you know, for gang stalking or whatever that may entail, you know, his gloves and all the regalia. You can come here yourself, just go to the Masonic collection, yeah. But if you look at the Masonic gifts, like just for the ladies, for instance, right, look at the orbs, yeah, the Masonic orbs, yeah, look at the prices, and they're gifting these to their people, yeah, you know, 500 quid, the money's nothing, do you know what I mean? Here you go, boom boom, do you know what I mean? And they're giving these gifts out because they've got all the money. See, this money, this is nothing, they pay this is nothing to them, do you know what I mean? But that's just part of what, you know, like I said, they've got money coming out of their ears, yeah. I mean, I mean, if you're profane now sitting there, can you afford a £500 gift? Of course you can't. 300, 200 for a little ball? Of course you can't. Freemasons do, because they've got all the money. Do you see what I mean? The Masonic watches, look, again, look at the money. Can you afford that sort of money and price for a watch? You know, that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? Gifts they give, you know, for all the work they do, yeah, it's all about, you know, you're rewarded for doing that. Do you know what I mean? You're rewarded well, and you will always be rewarded well, you know, whatever it comes and encompasses. Do you know what I mean? And that's all to do, that's what it's all to do with. I'm going to show you. They bestow different things. Here we go, look, lodge links. Go to lodgelinks.co.uk, and then you click into any of these, and that'll give you every lodge, you know. These are province lodges, yeah, not the main lodges or the grand lodges or any of that malarkey. But for Norfolk, for instance, yeah, look at all them lodges within Norfolk, you see. And then if you click, where's Norfolk? Is it where? I can't even see it. Look at that. Oh yeah, it is. Look, these are the Norfolk lodges, yeah, which is obviously our ones. Do you know what I mean? But again, I think it's Thorpe St Andrews, Norwich. I can't remember a lot of these now. The bloody, like I said, my head's fucking bummed. Where is it? Come on, where are they? But inside, if you go into, you know, like in like St Nicholas, right? There's more lodges, and that give you the numbers. Do you know what I mean? And here we go. Look, here he is. Look, bum bum. Welcome to Norfolk, and this is the guy. Look. You know, and that'll give you who's who and who's running your stuff. See what I mean? Look, they've got money to gamble all day. Look, where's the poor money in there? Look, You see what I mean? Look at them all. Look. See? Hey, yeah, well, hey, there's got all the money. Look, they do all the shooting. You know, I can't afford to go shoot. I can't even afford the shells. Do you know what I mean? They've got all the guns. Do you see what I mean? Look, they have all the entertainment. Do you know what I mean? It's all there for you. You know, in everything they do. You know, I've already shown this in other. You know, again, look, kids and youngsters. Do you know what I mean? That's what it's all about. Yeah, and like I said, if you just go to Norfolk Freemasons, yeah, and just have a look about the site, and you'll see they've got all the money. Jopper, look. You know what I mean? It's all they own everything. Aries, that's the man who they protect, the Queen and everyone. You know what I mean? Freemason for COVID challenge, total hours volunteering. Oh no, I think this is the food one. This is where I've done it in the previous video. Remember when I said they fed everyone? Yeah. And what they did, they give everyone this bloody food banks where they give it like the salmon to everyone, and no one could eat the bloody salmon. Do you know what I mean? Because it was too rich for them. You know, I can't even see the lodges what are my local here. Do you know? My eyesight must be right bad. Where is it? My bloody I can't even see my lodges. Anyway, but if you go to them, that'll give you different bits of information on the lodges. But you see, like I said, they advertise themselves. Do you know what I mean? I haven't done any of it. Do you know what I mean? This is from themselves. Do you know what I mean? You know, and like I said, if you search the site good enough and look at it, yeah, you'll see, you know, like news and events. Do you know what I mean? The Royal Arch, there they are. Let's see it. Look, that's again. Look, you see it there. Look, that's Parliament. Do you see what I mean? That's just Parliament sitting there. I don't. Obviously, I ain't going to go through. Look, but if you look at it there, look, you see that picture there. Look, that's just Parliament. Parliament, do you see what I mean? And that's what runs your town. See, they're mini parliaments what answer up to the main parliament. Do you see what I mean? And that's all it is. They're just government, you know what I mean? And they run everything within your town or your city. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know how to get onto that picture, but it's there. You know, it's there. Just look for it. You know what I mean? Look at that army. Look. Do you see what I mean? If I click on each event, it's actually bringing stuff up. But you know, if you go here, that'll tell you the food they handed out. And like I said, everyone was, you know, it was salmon and all this rich food no one could bloody eat. Do you know what I mean? But there's like all the, you know, like I said, that's just Norfolk links. That's in Norfolk. Do you know what I mean? And you can do the whole of England there. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter where you go. If you go to London, look at London, all the lodges in London, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, K, right up to Z. So if I click the London T to Z, right, boom, look at all the lodges in there. Look. Oh, you know, that's just not normal, is it? Do you know what I mean? Hello, that one's been shushed up. But you know, that one ain't got nothing on it neither. But that's all their lodges. Do you know what I mean? Within just London, T to Z. See, this is what I mean. This is an encampment on your doorstep, and you don't even know it's there. Do you know what I mean? This is a Masonic. What have I come onto this? Masonic. Yeah, this is links for different. You know, again, different. Masonic thing. But look at the all seeing eye look in there. Let's see the pyramid and the square look. Do you know what I mean? It's all the same. It don't matter where it is. Do you know what I mean? But this is another, you know, for like international, and that tell you all the lodges. Masonic World. You know what I mean? You know, let me just click on one of them just so you can see. But again, this is links to, like, you know, all the different levels, like Scottish rites, do you know what I mean? York rite, do you see what I mean? There's all these side degrees and all these side chapters, do you know what I mean? It just goes on and on and on, you know? And it just don't go on. Look, cryptic Freemasons, do you know what I mean? But if they start blaming each other, they point at different, you know, look, grand encampment of Knights Templar, but the Knights Templar say we're not Freemasons, but you are Freemasons, you know? The Scottish rite, like in that argument I show in that thing, that geezer go, what are you on about? You on about the thing of the Scots? Do you see what I mean? So they segregate themselves and blame each other, so you're always forever arguing who or which sort of Freemason it is. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So you got Royal Arch, Cryptic, Knights, which one? Because that's the first thing they do, or the York. Do you know what I mean? That's what they do, you know, and they segregate themselves and say, well, that ain't us, that's them. But no, you're all the bloody same. They're all same, yeah? This is Masonic World, yeah? Again, you can get their education, everything they're after. Do you know what I mean? The first battle for religious freedom, look. Do you know what I mean? See, they're Masonic education, discrimination, blah, blah, what makes them... The discrimination is against them, funny enough, even though they discriminate everyone who's outside the lodge. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but it's just funny how they, you know, you know, Masonry religion and that, but it's actually really funny how they think they're discriminated, though they treat every profane person like they're scumbags, do you know what I mean? And they're hated profane and they're better, do you know what I mean? They're just so egotistical, it's unreal. Again, there's lists of Masonic Grand Lodges, nothing to do with the Provisional Lodges or anything else, and either like the lodges, the members, you know what I mean? So look, 17 lodges, 450 members, that's in Benin. I don't know where that is actually. Grand Lodge of Benin, I ain't got a bloody clue. But that goes all, you know, Thailand, Belgium, Czechoslovakia, Germany, Luxembourg, Russia, Brazil, do you see what I mean? Does it all, United States, look. And it gives you all the numbers. This is from them. It's got nothing to do. I haven't made these numbers up. These are factual numbers, what they've done themselves, yeah. Again, look, useful links, yeah. Boom, boom. Governing bodies, see. Metropolitan Grand Lodge, and then there's the United Grand Lodge, you see. So there's one below. So the Metropolitan, I presume, and the United are the you know, that the Grand Lodge of England is the top one, and I suppose the Metropolitan answers up to the Grand Lodge, if you get what I mean, yeah. So that'd be the super, you know, like all the top of the, you know, like the top people. Like I said, it's always up, 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 up. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and it goes up, up, up the triangle. Do you know what I mean? But that's another, you know, another useful little link there. What you can go to lodge192.com links. Again, Masonic Lodge locations, list of Masonic lodges again around the world. You know, and it just goes on. See, Freemasons are the oldest and largest fraternity in the world, yeah, and it's also the biggest in every town, city. Look, 7 continents on the world. Look, North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, and Australia. That explains it there. Do you know what I mean? This is how big this army is. Look, Arabic and Islamic countries. Do you know what I mean? They're in everything. Yeah, Arizona, Delaware, Florida. Look, boom, boom. And it goes on and on. But you'll have to come here yourself and do it. You know what I mean? And then within them, it'll show you, you know, Philippines. It'll show you all the lodges, what are about. England. I've done this in previous videos, so I don't want to stick around too long on this. Look at this, all on this map on the right here. Look at all that. That's all lodges, Masonic lodges. Do you know what I mean? Army, castle, barracks, whatever you want to call it, yeah. These are recruitment centres, yeah. It's a cult. It's massive. That's how it is in your country. This here is Indiana, yeah. That's all the Indiana. These are other lodges, look. You know what I mean? All lodge locators. That's what you got to put in the Google. Yeah, if you want to know where the lodges are, put in lodge locator, Masonic maps. Put that sort of stuff in. That all comes up. Yeah, and you'll find it. How swamped they are within your own towns and cities. I like that picture. I like that. Oh yeah, the old Illuminati. Let's have a look. See what else is on there. But yeah, that's what it's about. Do you know what I mean? They control it. You know, they control your towns, they control your cities. Look, Masonic lodges in Washington State. Yeah. Now these would be grand lodges, not any other lodges. But look how many there is. Look, and you're telling me they're not castles or keeps to keep you profane. Living in a, you know, they're the ones that cause the chaos, right, around your towns and cities, right? Because in that way they always keep themselves in power and you under the, you know, under their little jackboots. Do you know what I mean? But again, here's another look. Masonic Order of Atheliston. If you click that, you come on to this page here. Look, Province of the Order. Yeah, and this is like East out. They're all over the place. Look, do you see what I'm saying? And then if you go to their history, which is at the top, or the order, that's got the officers, blah blah blah. But if you click their history, they'll blame each other again and say it's them. But look, it's the Masonic Order of Astelins, yeah. Do you see what I mean? So they're always calling themselves something different. You know what I mean? But it's all the same. They're just Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? And if you look at their history and the order and where they're from and what they do, they're all over the bloody place. Do you see what I mean? But they don't advertise it. Look, there he is. Look. You see what I mean? These red, that's his colours, you see. So someone in green would be a different county or something. Do you see what I mean? And there he is with his little badge and that. Do you see what I mean? This is what it's all about. It's all about, yeah, this is the legend of King Atheliston, you know what I mean? Master Mason being called to the York in 928 AD to receive the ancient charges of the king. Do you see what I mean? This is what it's all about. Heraldry, kings, queens, dukes, lords, earls, okay? And once you learn that, and every now and then, like I said, someone will get, you know, what take over the, you know, the running of it, and then you'll get a Masonic war. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's about. Look how many lodges there are. Look, Aberdeen, 12 lodges. Aberdeenshire East, 14 lodges. Aberdeenshire West, 20 lodges. Look at the lodge numbers here. Do you know what I mean? In Glasgow alone, there's 77 lodges, Masonic lodges. Imagine the men. You're not getting one man per lodge. You're getting 100 to, you know, even more than that. You could be, you know, you could be 500 to 600 men per lodge. So look at the numbers. Do the maths. Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. You know, Stirlingshire, 23 lodges. Whatever that word is. Renfrewshire East, 37 lodges. Perthshire East, 18 lodges. See, there they are, look. And this is what I'm saying. This is how prolific they are around the UK and within Scotland. Do you know what I mean? Who didn't I do there? EFGH. Glasgow, Edinburgh. Where's Edinburgh? Did he? Edinburgh, 37 lodges. Look, see, Fife and Kinross, 49 lodges. Do you really need all these lodges for no one? No, it's for someone, isn't it? It's for an army, a Masonic army. Again, I hope that's just proved my point just a little bit. Now we're going to go straight in, as promised, straight into the District Deputy Grand Master's Handbook. Shh, keep quiet about this one. They won't like this one. Oh, here's JD Buddy Bacchus, Worshipful Master, and that'll give you like all what he's done. I'll put my glasses over there just to hold the page down, do you know what I mean? But I ain't really interested in him or anything anyway, because they're all the bloody same, so it doesn't matter whose face was on there. He's just a Worshipful Master, and he's going to do the same job as what everyone else has done before him, do you know what I mean? But he's a Grand Tyler, you know, and he move on. It gives you his career, what he does, you know, Scottish Rite, this, that and the bloody other. But again, look, Masonry affiliated organisations have signally honoured Bacchus for his service to them, receiving the Demole Cross, which he was young, of honour, you know, do you know what I mean? He's not getting that for nothing, yeah, because he's done a service to him, yeah, a long service, so they honour him with the cross. You know, it's like the what's that Nazi cross, you know, the Iron Cross and all that, you know. That's all it is the same thing. And then you get Honorary Legion of Honour and the Grand Cross of Colour from the Order of Rainbow for girls. Do you see what I mean? And that's what they keep bestowing on people, you know, and they strive themselves to get more and more. Do you see what I mean? They're always wanting more badges, more titles, more land, more houses. Yeah, they get all of this. Yeah, and when they're getting all that, like I said, every time they're raised up, they're getting paid for that. Yeah, do you know what I mean? They're not doing it for nothing, you know, and that's why they shh. You know, they look here. It is there. Look, it says it's the eyes and ears. Look. There it is, underlined. Yeah, I'm that confident. Look, I'll enlarge it for you, just so anyone who's got a bad screen, bad eyes as I have. Look, eyes and ears. Yeah, that's all they are. The eyes and ears against the profane. Yeah. Right, sir and dear brother, one of the most pleasant and important tasks performed by an incoming Grand Master is that they appointed District Deputy Grand Master in the several Masonic districts, yeah, because he go all around the districts, he's paid for this, as will be emphasised in later pages. In this district, the District Deputy is the eyes and ears, the personal representative of the Grand Master. To a very great extent, the measures of the year 1983 and its failures will depend upon the sum of the actions of the Deputy Grand Master. You see what I mean? And that's what it's all about. Again, here he goes on. This is all uploaded on my forum anyway, so you can read the whole book for all I care. And there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about 9 tabs, yeah. And I only went to 6 on this, and I'll do the other 6 later. But we'll go through this one as we go. But there are the eyes and ears. Look, Texas. Look, and all it is. Look, problem of your district and more. Capable of helping lead Masonry to Texas. This is obviously the Texas one. To new heights in the coming year. This is your challenge. This must be our aim, yeah. And that's what their aim is, always trying to make themselves look good. You know, like Jimmy Savile, he used to make himself look good, because then any corruption that's happening, you turn a blind eye to it. You see what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, let's move on. But that's what they do. They want to look good, yeah. Here again, look, you are the Grand Master's personal representative, right? As District Deputy Grand Master, you should understand that you are not the representatives of your district, nor of your lodge. You are the personal representative of the Grand Master, and no one else, and none other. Your function is to implement the will and the pleasure of the Grand Master in his affairs of the Grand Lodge of Texas. See, so he has to do everything what that Grand Master says. He's just the deputy. In the discharge of your duties as District Deputy Grand Master in your own district, no one outranks you except the Grand Master. Again, who has ranks? An army has ranks. You getting that? Yeah, army ranks. Okay. The acceptance of so honourable an appointment is solemn commitment and earnestly striving to support the Grand Master. But anyway, he's paid for this. Do you know what I mean? He get paid. You think in a minute he's going to be running around all the districts doing all this, and he's doing it for nothing? Of course he's paid. Yeah, paid well for it and all. Becoming a personal acquaintance with the officers, army officers. Do you get it? Yeah, it's an army officers. Look, anyway, acquainted with the officers of the several lodges in the district. Yeah, see, officers. Yeah, it's an army. Okay. Reporting the Grand Master. It is the duty of the District Deputy Grand Master to report any situations in your district that has a potential to disarm. Let me just turn this off. Oh, that has a listen to this. That has the potential of disharmony or discredit to Masonry. Remember, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. You are the eyes and the ears of the Grand Master in your district. Observe and listen. Do you see what I mean? And this is what it's all about. They're so, up on keeping, this perfect image. Yeah. Do you know? Well, it's a bit too late now, there, guys. Do you know what I mean? Your image stinks. People are waking up to your corruption. Anyway, so like I said, they can't potential. So everyone is looking, basically every Freemason, yeah, regardless of who it is looking for disharmony or discredit to Masonry. They don't want that. Do you know what I mean? But obviously that's too far gone now, because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Well, they didn't try and prevent me. I mean, they should have. Fletched their arrows or stowed their arrows, something like that. It's a Masonry saying. I've got so many, I'll have to forget. You know what I mean? But I'll look it up. But yeah, so it's just all about, you can read that yourselves there. I ain't going to read it all. Do you know what I mean? I've just highlighted the bits I like in it, of course. Can it be requested, yeah, by the profane, us, yeah, and you notice the 3 dots there, that can we request, because everything they do, they put in writing. Do you know what I mean? In handling problems, questions or decisions following one parameter rule, put everything in writing. So I wonder if we could request that under the... what's that called again? Where you request something, you know what I mean, by law, and they have to hand over the paperwork. I wonder if we could do that. But anyway, that's another story. You are again reminded that you are the eyes and the ears. So he's reminded again. You are again, and this is what they do in the lodge, straight from the word. As soon as they join that, shh, you be quite caution, shh, from the profane. Anyone outside the temple, shh. Yeah, what goes on within the lodge stays within the lodge. Shh. You keep it quiet. Shh. The profane. Shh. Yeah, that's all they do. Yeah, and they just the eyes and the ears for the elite, and they want to shut down any trouble before it gets anywhere. Any threats to them, anything that could potentially, overtake something they own, or where they've got their foot in, or their little, their little finger in their pies. Do you know what I mean? That they'll want to shut that down quick, and that's what they do. You are again reminded that you are the eyes and ears of the Grand Master in your district, and as such should carefully observe and faithfully report all happenings to the Grand Master. It is your duty to do this whether such happenings be good or bad, right? And the expediency of your report should be based upon the good of Masonry in general. So even if there's something bad, they have to just base their reports on the good of Masonry. It just amazes me. But this is how they are. Do you know what I mean? It's just amazing. Do you hear that? Look, whether such happenings be good or bad, and the expedience of your report should be based upon the good of Masonry in general. Do you know what I mean? Christ Almighty. Do you see what I mean? It's just amazing how they. I'll leave that there just so people can have a little read if they need it. But you got to but that's just amazing what they. They just so full of themselves. I'll let you read that. I'll keep it up there just so you can read that. You know what I mean? Right. and then go boom, right? Look, the Deputy Grand Master must be constantly alert to any trouble involving Masonic offences in his district. He must ensure that charges are promptly filed against any brother allegedly guilty of a Masonic offence, to the end that the reputation of Freemasonry remains firmly established and the world at large convinced of its good effects. See what I mean? This is what they do, you know. This is all they do, you know. We've got to look good. We're always good, do you know what I mean? We can't be that, but you know, all our members are all true, you know, do you know what I mean? This is what it's all about, and they're ordered this, yeah. And the thing is, that, like I said, they've got internal courts where they find their brothers, they give them corporal punishment and all this sort of stuff, you know. So they got them well in hand, yeah. The laws of the Grand Lodge must be followed explicitly with respect to Masonic offences and a determination of guilt or innocence of offences, yeah. And like they got constitutions coming, bloody, you know, volumes of constitutions and their laws, yeah. And that's got their articles, and I ain't going to go through that, but you can get that in my forum if you want it. Whenever charges have been filed against a Mason in a lodge of his district, the district Deputy Grand Master should carefully observe all proceedings and report any and all unusual or improper developments to the Grand Master. See what I mean? So what they do, you know, when they become Grand Master, they're all, you know, obviously they're getting paid money, and, you know, like I said, they earn it. Not on the first levels of Masonry, they don't, you know. Well, they are paid, trust me, but not like they are once they get high into the higher grades. Do you know what I mean? But you know, and it's all in pomp, you know. Is it called pomp? Is it, you know, where they're self-importance, you know what I mean, within their own self, but like I said, everyone around them is buffing them up, do you know what I mean? Like their ego is just absolutely, do you know what I mean? They're so self-important of their self that they're just only on themselves, you know what I mean? Everyone else is just scum, you know what I mean? They're profane, hated profane, you know, because they're always getting buffed up themselves. I'll leave that there, you can read that yourself and pause it. Again, the code books, yes, states the use of cipher work. Shh. Now this is where I get in trouble. You see, lucky I ain't took no Masonic oaths, innit? You know what I mean? Or I'd be facing the wrath of the Masonics. I'd be hung, drawn, quartered and chopped up and all sorts, I would, you know what I mean? Even though they talked about shooting me, but there you go. Anyway, the use of cipher work relating to the historic work of any of the 3 degrees as a Masonic offence. It shall also be a Masonic offence to sell any code book or to be employed in the business of anyone doing so. The District Deputy Grand Master should be constantly alert to see that such code books are destroyed when found, and that the brethren are informed of the gravity of such offence. Well, I've now got some ritual where the profane have never ever seen this before, yeah, what I've got coming up. Obviously I'm now going through this, but I'm going to show you some secret rituals that the profane have never seen before, and not even lowly Freemasons, if we call them lowly Freemasons, yeah. Some of the Freemasons that are on level have never seen these rituals. What I'm now going to ciphers that I'm now going to put towards some of you profane people. So yeah, good luck and up yours, you Freemasons. But yeah, you're now going to see some ciphers come from me, yeah, written down, yeah, and scribed just for the purpose of the profane. Anyway, the Grand Lodge text was approved the following on December 6, 1951. There has been circulated throughout the Grand jurisdiction, this is great, certain chain letters. They were sent to Masons only, with a suggestion of good fortune if the chain is unbroken, and ill fortune if the chain is broken. They are essentially based on superstition, insomuch as Freemasonry has no part in fostering superstition. I advise all Masons who receive them to destroy them. So if you want to get into Freemasons and piss them off, send them chain letters, because they got some sort of superstition about chain letters or something, you know what I mean? I don't know, there's superstition about something, you know what I mean, or they believe in something about these chain letters, do you know what I mean? But why, I don't know, you know. But there you go, they got concerns for chain letters. I mean, you know, I might send a few out myself. But anyway, again, look, they say they're not a religion, but look, the open of the lodge before the altar. The only thing that has an altar, or what I know of, is a sacrificial altar or an altar in a church or whatever, yeah. And then on the other side here, they give, for the most part, is simply applied concepts. For example, it's just good manners to call for the benediction. Again, religious, isn't it? benediction, but they're not, and that obviously they're a temple, you know what I mean, but they're nothing to do with religion. I don't know, it's a bit, even though they have like, you know, religious people standing up for them, blah blah blah. So I don't understand that. And a Mason always rises to his feet to respond to being addressed by the presiding officer, whether he be a junior warden acting as a master or a grand master himself. You see what I mean? So they always like you know, someone who's like acting as a grand master or something, acting, yeah. Sometimes the geezer would be asked to step out, so that person would get that little bump of being in charge. It's a bit like sitting, you know, Star Trek. Oh, you're sitting in the captain's chair. Do you know what I mean? Whoa. Do you know what I mean? That sort of thing, you know. So they give people little, you know, things, so they strive and want that. Do you know what I mean? You know. And that's what it's all about. Things to go smooth, and you will gain respect from your peers. You see, it's all about getting respect from your peers if you do it right. You see what I mean? And this is what they do. They do it from a very young age. Do you know what I mean? You know, get respect from my elders. Cool, look at me, I've got my badge. Do you know what I mean? Oh, you know, cool, look at this gold they've just given me, this watch and whatever. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, look, this puzzles people, right? Look, the written word, probably the most common mistake of all, is the use of ritualistic Masonic titles on the outside of mailing envelopes. They don't like that. That's why I always put Freemasonry all on my envelopes. But what they do, look, and other written material intended for general public review. Titles like Right Worshipful Master, which should be MW, or Worshipful Master, Worshipful Grand Junior Deacon, etc., bloody, etc. Them and their bloody titles. That's what I mean. They've got so many titles because they've got so many men. Do you know what I mean? In the army, they have to make all these bloody titles up. It's all just egotistic stuff. But so the right way to address the envelope is always use honourable or on. You know what I mean, Ron? Use on, yeah, Ron? Never a title. Example, if you're writing a letter to the Grand Master, address the envelope as follows. Honourable Jimmy Savile, not Jimmy Savile, sorry, John Doe Jr., P.O. Boxton Dunn. Newspaper items such as public print use John H. Jones, Master of Solomon Lodge, bum bum. You see what I mean? But that's what they do. They don't write this down, see? Whereas if you did, well, anyway, if you did, it would puzzle the people. Well, the profane. You see what I mean? And that's where they go, the ancient free and accepted Freemason spelled out, but it's always AF and AM. Do you see what I mean? That's sort of codes they always wear. See where it is here, look, AFM. Do you know what I mean? So it's never written. See the salutation, again, the army, the salutation, which is a salute because it's an army, so they salute. Here's your chance to salute the man's Masonic rank. And where do you get a rank? In an army. Do you see what I'm saying? This is an army. Most worshipful sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. Now let's remember, someone said about the salute the other day, and it's salute 1 2 3, salute down 2 3. Yeah, that's the count, isn't it? 2 3s. What's 2 3s? 33. Do you see me? So it's Masonic. Yeah, up 2 3, down 2 3s. 2 3s, 33. Do you see what I mean? Okay, so that's what them threes are about. Up 1 2 3, down 2 3, 2 3s 6, 66. Hey, don't know where that comes from, but there you go. Someone else will work out better than I do. I just made that one up. But yeah, that's where the salute come from. You know, the 2 3s, 33, Masonic 33, isn't it? But look, here's your chance to salute, yeah, your Masonic rank and most worshipful sir. It's an army. The army is encamped right outside your door in a Masonic lodge, what they call a lodge, but it's a castle or a keep for people to watch over you, yeah, to make sure you don't complain, or if there is a complaint or something's going to go on, they can try and shut it down like that. Okay, the Grand Marshal, which basically stands for the Grand Field Marshal, do you know what I mean, with the old stars and that. Again, this is about the spoken word, isn't it? Oh no, it's still there. They're still going on about their bloody orders. Look, on a letter of a Grand Officer and his wife, the envelope should read Honourable and Mrs. Joe Doe, blah blah blah, Most Worshipful Sir and Mrs. Doe. Do you know what I mean? That's just, again, the salutation may contain his ritualistic title. So it's a ritualistic title. Everything is with Freemasonry is ritualistic. Do you know what I mean? So that's what it's all about, yeah. And they keep to this boom, on point. Do you know what I mean? And they're paid well to do that, you know. It's indoctrinated them from a very, very young age, I told you. At public, this is the spoken word, yeah. Here again, many well-informed brethren to ignore or forget some relatively simple rules. At public non-Masonic events, assume the Grand Master or District Deputy is appearing officially at a Rotary Club, yeah, which a Rotary Club, if you know your Freemasons, is just Freemasons meeting, or a Boy Scouts, again, because they're Boy Scouts, they own the Boy Scouts, yeah, you've already shown you that, yeah, because again, it's all to do with the children and getting hold of your little ones. Should be rarely used. Even the word brother should be used sparingly. Ritualistic and special fraternal terms used in public without special accusation often create negative images in the minds of the general public, which is the profane, which is you. Do you see what I mean? Because they don't want you to know their numbers. They don't want you to know they're Freemasons mingling amongst you, watching, listening and hearing. Do you see what I mean? That's what they don't want you to do. And if they hear a conversation, for instance, and you're going, and it's about a Freemason or whatever, they'll try and jump in and they'll try and steer the conversation away or try and direct it so you think differently on that point. Do you see what I mean? And that's what their job is. Do you know what I mean? So they steer you away, you know. And if they have to call in other brothers to do that, they'll do that. But they'll try and turn that, you know, that conversation or that line of thinking, yeah, into another direction. Okay, that's what they do. At Masonic events, always use the appropriate titles. Never call the Grand Master brother, even in a meeting. Here's the most worshipful. Here am I, get on your knees and most worshipful master. You know what I mean? You know, come on. The most worshipful sir, because he's a, you know, he's a sir, he's a captain, he's a, you know, it's his Masonic rank because he's in the army, and you will salutation. You will salute him, yeah? Most worshipful sir, most worshipful brother Doe, most worshipful Grand Master, or simply Grand Master, but he is never your brother, baby. Do you know what I mean? But that's what it's about, you see. That's what, this is how they greet people. See, it's an army, yeah. During a lodge meeting, the presiding officer should never be called brother. He is worshipful master or worshipful sir. Yes, sir. You know what I mean? And let's go for a march, sir. I'll salute you, sir, because we're not an army, sir. Even though you are higher ranked than me, sir. So what's the big deal? The big deal has nothing to do with Brother Jones. Look, we are paying appropriate Masonic respect to the officer of master of the lodge, regardless of who wears the hat. So they don't give a shit who wears the hat. That's why Boris is in bloody thing. They don't care. As long as they stay in power, they don't care like people like Boris messing stuff up or anything else. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. You know, and that's what it's about. That's their privilege, look. Reason for their preferment and privilege to be addressed by special titles. It's a simple matter of doing it right. Do you know what I mean? And these people want to grab all these titles. They want these titles because with their titles becomes power, yeah, over more men, blah blah blah, yeah, what you control. Do you see what I mean? So it's like, you know, when you start in the army as a private, you want to become corporal, and from corporal you want to be, do you know what I mean, you work up to sergeant, and then a sergeant want to be a captain, and then a captain what, do you see what I mean? And it's all army ranking all the way up, and they're paid well for it, paid very well. In arranging your schedule, so you think they do these schedules for nothing, of official visits, please remember that it is the express wish and direction of the Grand Master that you know official visits may be made during public school weeks. No official visits be made during public school weeks, and I'm going to show you why. Yeah, it's all around schools. It's always to do with the public, and the public is the profane. Okay, annual observance of public school week is held during the first full week of March. Okay, now this is the Grand Master is. This is obviously thingy, but I'll show you in a minute what this. Again, it's examining lodge records. This is all what he does. He has to look, you know, through things, blah blah blah. But look, then he goes, look, the district deputy Grand Master shall examine the Masonic security of the building in which lodges meet. This should include not only the security from eavesdroppers, which is us, the Cowans, see, and if they caught an eavesdropper, then they put you under the eaves, and then, you know, all the water would come off the eaves and drown your boots, you know what I mean, or something like that. I can't remember now. But also it has an effect the honours and the dignity of masonry, determine whether or not the premises are in good repair inside and out, whether the outside of the building reflects the proper image of Freemasonry. Should the district deputy Grand Master determine that the building is not in suitable repair or is unsafe or proper for Masonic use, we should notify the lodge of its findings and report the matter to the Grand Master immediately. But that security, you know, they've got sentries going around. You ain't getting near any of their meetings because they're talking about murder, drug deals and all that. How much, what businesses can we, you know, what business do we want, how much money are we making, who's a threat to us. This is what their meetings are all about, you know. Who's the profane mark, do you know what I mean? That's what their meetings are about. But I'll go into that a bit another time. Like I said, they think they're unwatchable, they think they're untapeable, they think that they can't be recorded. They're so wrong. You know what I mean? Your tilers are not doing your jobs, let's put it that way. When the district deputy Grand Master shall arrive in the anteroom, the tilers shall give the alarm and announce the district deputy Grand Master is in waiting. The worshipful master shall then place the deacons inside the door with their rods crossed. Okay, the brethren shall be arranged on each side of the door and extend towards the altar. Yeah, with sufficient space between the lines of the deputy Grand Master and his escort to pass. So why is he getting escorted? Do you see what I mean? This is where they, you know, all the men, again, he's inspecting the troops. Do you see what I mean? He's inspecting the, you know, when like a field marshal go around different, you know, obviously he go around different airfields and, you know, different army barracks and that, and he does the inspections, doesn't he? This is what this dude does. He goes around and he inspects the lodge, he inspects the men, you know what I mean, and make sure that's all right. So it's just an army, do you know what I mean? It's doing the same thing what an army did, same as what the Hitler did, the Hitler Youth, yeah? Make sure there's plenty of room. Worship master shall then just deputise 2 past masters if available, otherwise 2 other brethren to escort and introduce the deputy Grand Master. The escorting brethren will open the door and announce to the district that the lodge given his name, blah blah blah. Anyway, the master, look, the mason sign, look, the master mason sign should be given, which is like I'll show you it later anyway, but that's like your elbow and your hand flat to the floor, do you know what I mean? But I'll show you. Master Mason shall be going at the altar, because they've all got a different sign. Like I said, from them signs there's a penal sign, do you know what I mean? There's also a step, do you know what I mean? Because they learn the step and then the password, yeah. But anyway, he's now saluting, shall be given the altar and district Grand Master and 2 escort brethren. He shall be returned to the worshipful master, the brother of the district Grand Master F, and shall do him in substantially the following language. Okay. Now, remember, they've got their own language, they've got their own writing, they've got their own money, they've got everything. They're a world to their own. Okay, and like the Vatican is their own thing. London is their own. Do you see what I mean? Their own, you know, districts, their own world. Yeah, they've got their own laws and everything. They're totally separate from you, the profane. Yeah, they don't. Time in a lodge don't even exist. Do you know what I mean? Time doesn't even exist to them. Yeah. That's how they, you know, how they live their lives. Anyway, worshipful master, it is my privilege to introduce to you and through you to the brethren here assembled, right worshipful Jimmy Saville, district deputy Grand Master of district number, I can't remember Savile's lodge number, of the most worshipful Grand Lodge of Texas. The district deputy Grand Master shall be introduced by the worshipful master, who shall instruct the brethren to join him in extending to the district deputy Grand Master the private grand honours. See, because they bestow honours on them. Like I said, their egos are so buffed up and puffed up, that's unreal. Yeah, so anyway, they all bestow with grand honours, bloody titles and land and whatever, which shall then be accorded. The district deputy Grand Master shall then be escorted to the east by the brother on his left. All other brethren shall return to their usual place. The west will send the gravel to the district deputy Grand Master, because that gravel is the business in the lodge. Yeah, and then that goes on and on and on, you know, and he bloody gives him this, that and the other. Now here we go again, look, right? Lodges to permit other organised to meet, which meet in lodges rooms to hold open installations of officers without limitation, to include dates and specific of the what did I ring that? Army officers. Oh yeah, that's it. Look, officers. Look, installation of officers. Yeah, right. Officers in the army. Okay. See, I've got to get it through your heads that this is an organised army. Yeah, it's a big business as well, and the only people they honour is their wives, their widows, their mothers and families of their members. Okay, if you are not one of their wives, widows, mothers or member of their families, or a son, right, you are profane. You will get nothing from them. You know what I mean? You'll get tokens which are brass. You know what I mean? That's all you'll get. You'll get nothing while they sit there with the gold, heating the salmon and all the rest of it. Do you know what I mean? And whatever charity they give to is only what they like, what they want themselves and what they like, nothing else. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, but this is what they honour. They honour their own wives, their widows, the mothers and the this is who they look after all the time, just themselves, no one else. Anyway, let's go on again. Look, that there's a lodge meeting I held that all Masons present should be Masonically clothed. Yeah, that's Masonically clothed in their army uniform. Okay, and that officers should wear their jewels, and I've shown you what their jewels are, which is the you know, their iron crosses, you know, if they're from the German Nazi crosses, you know, whatever, yeah, or badges of office, which means again, you know, corporals, lieutenants, captains. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, because it's an army. All right, that's what it's about. What did I go here for? The entire service meeting held in Masonic life shall be conducted in strict accordance with Masonic traditions, customs and dignities. Oh yeah, now here we go with the public school weeks. Yeah, is that provisional? Look, yearbook 1982 to 83 there. We should have combined that one and all with the other Masonic yearbooks. Never mind. Right, the Grand Master has issued a proclamation setting forth the observation of Public Schools Week by the Masons of Texas. The annual observance is held in the first full week of March. The District Deputy Grand Masters are urged to be attentive to this observance and render every possible assistance in the respective districts on behalf of this week's of special emphasis. A copy of the proclamation is as follows. Now listen to this. Unreal. Here we go. This is not for the profane. Remember this. 33rd, right? Here we go with the 33 again, yeah? 33rd, yeah? They love the 33. They love their threes, yeah? Up 1, 2, 3, down 2, 3. Oh, I just saluted. Hey, up 2, 3, down 2, 3. What a salute. Anyway, 33rd observance of Public School Week. Here we go. To the masters, wardens, what I should say is field marshals, captains, you know what I mean, blah blah, but the officers and members of the constitutional lodges of Texas, the first week of March, blah blah, state school by the 33rd, blah 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 blah. But this is, here it is. Look, now here's the plan, yeah, here's the operation. Look, the operation and control of our Texas public schools has been delegated to local school boards and officials by the citizens of a given community. Okay, so at the moment the operations and the control has been given to the community. Okay, now if we, the Freemasons, this army, are to maintain the control and the operation of our schools, then we must be informed concerning their needs and local problems. If we fail as citizens to support our schools locally, then someone else will do it. Therefore, my fraternal request is that you take active part in this 33rd annual observance of Public School Week in your community, and in so doing visit the schools. So basically what he's saying is if we don't get control of our schools, then someone else will do it for us, and we don't want that, because we want to be able to control the schools. Yeah. Where is it? Called meeting for funerals. See, all of it stops everything. No meetings will be held that week in the lodge room except stated meetings and the following exceptions. Called meetings for funerals and observations in Public School Week. Do you know what I mean? So it's what I mean. It's an operation. Do you know what I mean? This is like, you know, where they're going to Omaha Beach or something. Do you know what I mean? They've got to get the control of the public school, because if they don't get control of it, someone else will. Do you know what I mean? And this is what it's about. This is what they do to your schools, you see. Here we go. Look again. Look, it also plays all organisations, all right, put it in the lodge rooms, including the York Rite, you see what I mean, Scottish Rite, Demole, Rainbow Girls, Eastern Star, and any others. And that's what I'm saying. See, there's so many of them. Look, do you know what I mean? All these like different you know, lodges they use for different purposes. The army is vast, and just because they call themselves York Rite, Scottish Rite, Demole, Rainbow, Eastern Star, or any other type of
I think like the young boys are called Lewis's or something, you know what I mean? But again, they're all Freemasons. Do you see what I mean? So don't get in any arguments about, oh, what one are you on about, the York Rite, or what, you know? Oh, that's the York Rite. That's not us. We're the De Molay. Oh, that's the De Molays. They're different from us. No, they're all the same. Freemasons. Okay. So that's what. So that's, don't get distracted by that. But there it is in black and white. Yeah. You know what I mean? If we are to maintain the control and operation of our schools, then we must be informed concerning their needs and local problems. Do you get that? Do you know what I mean? Because if we fail to support our schools, then someone else will do it for us. Do you know what I mean? And that's there in black and white. Do you know what I mean? They need to control your schools. Again, is another proclamation. That the Grand Master has issued a proclamation calling for the support of the regional conference programme of all lodges, appendant bodies and affiliated organisations in Texas. Each district deputy Grand Master is charged to ensure that all lodges understand and comply with the proclamation. The proclamation is as follows, yeah? And this is a... oh, yeah, God, I've only just got to this bit. Yeah, so that's as far as I got with that. And I'm going to do the rest later. But this is... like I said, this book here, there's like about 15 different tabs, yeah, and each tab, if I go in a bit closer, look, has a different, you know, additional duties, administration duties, day to day, you know, and they're paid for this. You know what I mean? He's not doing all this for nothing and visiting different lodges. But like I said, that school one should put a bit of a watch your schools, because they control your schools, yeah, and they're putting through what your schools are. What your schools are actually deeming towards your profane children. Before I go into this Eastern Star ritual and their lodges, I just want to go here and I'm going to show you. This is the Provisional Grand Lodge of Norfolk, yeah, and here look, the initiates, joining, the deaths, the resignation, exclusions, which is for the bad Freemasons, and number of members for each lodge. Look, okay, so give you the numbers and the lodges here. But again, if you look at the founders at the bottom, look, so there's 136 initiates. There's 128 of them joining. There was 108 deaths, because you know, remember, there's a lot of old dudes in the old lodges. Resignations. There was 165 resignations. Why? Did they get scared off because it got to the satanic ritual, so they resigned? I don't know. You tell me. And then you had exclusions of 33. Funny how it's always 33 in it. 33 exclusions anyway, and the total number of members is 5,001, and that is in 1982. Again, like I said, I don't trust any of their numbers anyway. They always lie. This is a little hymn of invocation, yeah, Horncastle, but I just thought it was interesting. Look, hail eternal, by whose aid all created things were made, heaven and earth, thy vast design, hear us, architect divine, yeah, and that's their God, yeah, architect divine, whoever, right? May our work begun in thee ever blessed with orders be, and may be when labours cease, part in harmony and peace, by thy glory majesty, by thy glorious majesty, yeah, majesty, I don't know if I'm saying that right, majesty, by the trust we place in thee, by the badge and the mystic sign, see their badges and their mystic signs, hear us, architect divine, yeah, so the architect, the great architect of the universe, the Gautu, do you know what I mean? Nothing to do with God. Now, here's the Masonic service, the first degree, look, number 1 admission, okay? Matthew, what's that, V22 or V11, VII, 7, whatever that means, I don't know. Seek and you shall find, ask and you shall have, knock and it shall be opened, which is the Masonic knock, the 3 special knocks, do you know what I mean? 3 Masonic special knocks. I haven't got to do that. I nearly caved my bloody table in there if I do that. Number 2, reunion, Genesis, bloody wa. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. Number 3 is the test. Palms, blessed is he that considereth the poor and needy, and the Lord shall deliver him in the time of trouble. So mote it be. And then you got the second degree. Behold, how good and joyful a thing it is, brethren, to dwell together in unity. See, they always dwell themselves in unity. Forget everyone else. It's just them. It's you and them. Profane against the Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? That's all it is. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmest surest his handiwork. Science, investment, science, proverb, happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding, so mote it be. And then you got the third degree, which is excellent. Put thy shoes off thy feet, for the ground whereon thou standeth is holy. Situation: what man is he that liveth and shall not see death? Shall he deliver his soul from the hand of the grave? Reunion and consecration. Glory be, O Lord, so mote it be. Grace before me. Oh yeah, so that'd be like thingy. The eyes of all await upon thee, O Lord, and thou giveth them their meat in due season. Grace after meat. Praise the Lord, O my soul, and forgive not all the benefits. But again, you see the Masonic sound here. Now that when I couldn't get that other one, this is a level. I nearly forgot it again then. A level in the compass. But notice the Masonic signage. See what I mean? It's different, isn't it? It's not the square and compass, it's the level and compass, yeah. And like I said, the higher you go up the degrees, that they change the you know, in always the square and compass. The square and compass is for the profane people. Oh, I'm on my first hour now. Look, I'm now going to shut down. Luckily, I'm getting to the end. Let me have a look, see how far I've got into this. I've actually just started getting into this one. So what I'll do, I'm going to finish that there, and then when I start my next one, because I want to keep these at an hour. I want to try and keep these at an hour. We'll go into the Scottish. You know, I'll do all of this one anyway. But we're getting to the Eastern Star and what they denote in their little rituals. Do you know what I mean? And passes, and you know, oh yeah, and some of the things I've on it. But I'll tell you what the sisters are doing. You know what they are. Have you a sign? I have. It is given. You know what I mean? They give the sign, and then that goes on and on. You know what I mean? And then, but I'll tell you what they do in each you know, what they do in the office to make a proper record. You see, and that's what it's about, and it tells you all what they do. Yeah, like Ada is one of the stations on the end of the star. You know what I mean? It's all different. There's all different names. I'll get into it as Ruthless. She's a bit ruthless. You know what I mean? And different things, but we'll get into that. This is like I said, this is a Order of the Eastern Star, and we'll get into a bit of that, and we'll show them. Remember, they drill it. They've been drilling since 1888. Girls of the Masonic School that does physical education, physical exercise and drill. Why? Because they want a good, strong army, just like the Hitlers. You know what I mean? Just like Hitler Youth. But we'll get into this. I've got into that hymn. I've just done that little hymn. I'll finish off on there. The hymn, closing for the hymn. Now the evening shadows closing, warm from toil to peaceful rest, mystic arts and rites reposing, sacred in each faithful breast. God of light, whose love unceasing doth to all thy works extended, crown of order with thy blessing, build, sustain us to the end. Humbly now we bow to thee, grateful for thy aid divine, everlasting power and glory, mighty architect be divine. See, architect, you know what I mean? Nothing to do with God or anything. It's the Grautu, the goat, the grand architect of the universe. And here they are, look, they get certificates. Like I said, look, they get all these certificates. That's what they vie for, you see. I mean, look at the room. How much wealth is in that room? You see what I mean? Look at the shoes, look at the suits, all the money, yeah? That's what they vie for, yeah? That one there, yeah? That's Obama, look. Can you see him? Him on the left, that's Obama, I bet it is. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I get so excited. And I'll show you some of their badges. Like I say, you can see them here already. And then we'll get into where they, you know, like I said, where they're handing their gold to each other, yeah? Oh, you think they make these gold bars for nothing? No, they don't. Anyway, thank you everyone for listening, and another video is coming soon. Goodbye, you Masonics.